Hello and welcome to another video. So today I am going to tell you a fairy tale that I have never told before. So let's dig into that fairy tale. So this fairy tale is about a little boy named Elidar who gets lost in a fairy cave where the fairy king invites him and lets him play with his kid or the prince of the fairy cave. So let's dig into that story. So once upon a time, at the start of the Ottoman Empire, where there was a big school where all the students, almost half of the students of the Ottoman Empire would come here and pray that they would get a chance. And a little boy named Elidar got a chance by accident, but his father used this chance to make his kid go to one of the best school in the entire Ottoman Empire, and his mother was also happy for him. But Elidar did not wanted to study. Elidar was a very playful boy. He would always want to play and play and play, and he would never want to study. But one day, as his father scolded him, Elidar got hurt emotionally, and so he left his house and never came back. And where did he went? It wasn't clear. But people say that Elidar went into the forest, and after he went into the forest, there Elidar was having a blast with his days because he would never have to study there. But after one day, he realized what mistake he has done, and because after one day he ran out of food, ran out of water, everything that a human needs to survive, even his entertainments. So Elidar got desperate and started looking for food everywhere and anywhere he could find food, anything that he could eat or drink. But after all of this, Elidar did not find any food, and he suddenly looked at people and saw that people were searching for him. Then Elidar got into a desperate decision-making situation where either Elidar has to take the decision to go back home and get scolded by his father or beaten by his mother and his teachers at the school, or stay here and never return home. And Elidar easily chose the second option, where he never has to go home because he hated his home, because his father and mother would always force him to do things that he didn't want to do. So after all of this, Elidar decided to stay there, and he took shelter in a cave that he did not realize was the fairy cave. That cave hasn't been founded for thousands of years, but at last Elidar founded it, and two elves came out and greeted Elidar. There, with the greetings, Elidar finally felt some love from the elves that his mother and father or his parents never gave him. So Elidar looked as the elves invited him to come to their caves, and Elidar went with them to their cave, and there Elidar saw another universe that he has never seen. So after this, Elidar asked one of the elves that what is this place? And the elf says that this place is the fairy kingdom, where there is nothing else but happiness and happiness. So the elves brought Elidar to the fairy king and the prince of the fairy kingdom. The fairy king looked at Elidar and brought upon a smile that the king loved Elidar or liked Elidar, and so as Elidar was looking at the fairy king and looked at awe as this universe or the fairy kingdom, as the elves told him, was so stunning that nothing compares to this is in the real world. So Elidar listened carefully to the king, and the king said that you will always stay with us and play with my son, and you will teach him tricks that humans don't know, or humans know but we don't know. and we want to learn from you. So after hearing this, Elidare was very happy to teach tricks and tips to survive in the human world. But one day, as Elidare got home from teaching the king's son, Elidare felt something in his heart. He felt very pale, very lifeless in his heart, without his parents, without his fathers, without his father, without his parents, and without his friends, or without any lessons done that day. Elidare felt very, very empty, and although Elidare's parents were very poor, they would always try to support Elidare financially. So after realizing this, Elidare looked around to see something, but he couldn't find something. Then all of a sudden, he saw a gold ball that was made out of pure 24 karat gold, and Elidare thought of something. As the king said that he must never betray the fairy kingdom, but now he has to do the unthinkable to the fairy kingdom, to betray the fairy kingdom and bring happiness to his own world, to his own parents, to his own life. So Elidare took few gold balls that was in his home, because in every fairy kingdom's home there are 4 gold balls, and Elidare took all 4 gold balls and ran outside. As all the elves chased him, but they couldn't reach Elidare because Elidare was a very, very fast boy, and the elves were very small, so the elves' legs could not run as fast as Elidare's legs, because Elidare was very, very large in comparison to the elves. So after this, Elidare went back home, and his father, after seeing him, he saw a sudden light of joy in himself, and the father hugged him very tightly as he never did before, and the mother said, "I love you, Elidare," as she never said it before. And Elidare surprised his parents with those 4 gold balls and made them rich. And with this, even though Elidare betrayed the fairy kingdom after stealing the gold balls, and after failing to keep the truth of never leaving the fairy kingdom, the fairy world forgave Elidare because he was doing it for the better of himself and his parents. So this is the end of our happy story. So tata and goodbye. See you tomorrow again with another video. So goodbye. See you tomorrow again.